What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. This here's Legitical Response. We cover political news constantly, and we have been inundated with news, with all kinds of stuff going on. You know, we still got the Trump assassination coming out, and we're going to cover some of that. But right now, I'm going to cover something a little bit more fun, because the Democrats, once again, they are going outright insane over Trump. Constantly. Oh, we know, I know, you know, we all know this. They go insane over everything Trump says. So, you know, he hasn't really said anything that they can make up a hoax about. So what they're doing now is they're taking this.
Christians, get out and vote just this time. You won't have to do it anymore. 4 more years, you know what? It'll be fixed. It'll be fine. You won't have to vote anymore, my beautiful Christians. I love you, Christians. I'm a Christian. I love you. Get out. You got to get out and vote. In 4 years, you don't have to vote again. We'll have it fixed so good you're not going to have to vote.
And trying to say that Donald Trump is threatening to end democracy, y'all. End democracy. Check this out, y'all. Harris camp responds to Trump telling Christians they don't have to vote again if he gets elected. Oh, you're gonna love this one. These people are outright insane. They can twist and turn just about anything that they want to. It's like, you know, what goes through their minds that they take everything so seriously, right? They know, they've listened to Trump before. They know he gets up there and he does a lot of improv and he rambles on and he blah, 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 BS, right? And he's a comedian. He makes the crowd laugh. That's how he gets so many supporters. That's how he gets so many people at his freaking rallies, right? Because he gets up there and sure, he talks about policy prescription and all this other jazz, but he also does stand-up. And that's why he gets so many daggone people. And the left, they don't seem to understand this whatsoever. They will take anything and everything Donald Trump says seriously, like verbatim, seriously. As a matter of fact, they'll even take what he says and twist it around. And they'll add stuff into there, take it out of context, and they just don't know how to take Donald Trump. But once again, they're their own worst enemy. Well, like I said, this day and age, we can debunk if they try to make up a hoax. We'll debunk it outright. So what they're trying to do now is they're trying to take something and put a literal interpretation on some improv. Let's go. Let's get into this, because this is insane, y'all. As former President Donald Trump wrapped up his nearly 75-minute speech on Friday, he delivered a final pitch to the Christian conservative crowd, saying if they vote for him on Election Day, they would never be obligated to vote again. No, he didn't say that. We just heard the clip. He didn't say that whatsoever. He never said anything about obligated to vote again. Now, Christians, you know, they don't really vote a lot. They disproportionately vote, I guess you could say. Not a lot of Christians seem to be all that into politics, and hey, look, I get it. I understand why, right? There's a lot of evil going on in politics, but, you know, like I tell people all the time, we got to get involved, because these are the people that make up the rules that we have to live by. Don't you want to have a say in who makes up those rules? I think I do. Yeah, and I don't like politicians a whole hell of a lot, but you know, I would like to have a voice. I would like to have a say in who gets voted into power. You know, at least I can say, well, I didn't vote for Joe Biden, and so, you know, blah, 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 I'm not responsible for him destroying the country outright. But I don't care how, but you have to get out and vote. Oh, we already heard that, blah, blah, blah. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Well, yeah, we heard that in the quote. The Harris campaign is characterizing Trump's comment that if Christians vote this one time, they won't have to do it anymore as a vow to end democracy, folks. That is right. Oh, yeah, here we go with the democracy thing again, right? That is right, and they are telling the truth, because Donald Trump is going to try to end their democracy. And we know what they mean by democracy. They don't mean the Webster's definition of democracy. They mean them being in power. They don't want to give up their grip on power whatsoever, and they'll do just about anything to keep themselves in power. I got another story for you. to prove my point. Check this out. Judge rejects man's bid to keep Robert F. Kennedy Jr. off New Jersey ballot. These people are going hard on RFK Jr. Now, we covered a story the other day talking about Democrats constantly suing to keep RFK Jr. off the ballot. And now the corporate press, they'll come out and say, oh, well, RFK Jr. is going to take more away from Trump than he will from Biden, when it was Biden running for it, right? But poll after poll after poll shows that no, I'm sorry. RFK Jr. may take a few people away from Trump, but not nearly as many as Biden, because RFK Jr. was a Democrat. He's, as a matter of fact, he started his presidential bid as a Democrat. But guess what? Democrats in his own party pushed him off the ballot to where it was pretty much pointless for him to run as a Democrat. They wouldn't let him on the primary process. They did not want him at all. So he was like, okay, screw you. I'm going to run as an independent. And Democrats are still trying to keep him off the ballot. This is just insane to me. Coming from the party talking about democracy, constantly talking about democracy. Oh, we got to defend democracy. Oh, well, this is about freedom, y'all. Freedom! They're insane. This is why I call Democrats insane. A New Jersey judge on Monday denied an effort to keep RFK Jr. from running for president under the state's sore loser law. Judge Robert Laugie denied a request by attorney Scott Salmon, who sought to keep Kennedy from appearing on the November 5th presidential ballot as an independent. He said the law compelled him to dismiss the case, but that Salmon could still raise complaints to the state's top election officials, Secretary of State Tahisha Wei. Neither Salmon nor Kennedy's campaign immediately responded to messages seeking comment. Salmon brought a suit in 2020 saying that then potential presidential candidate Kanye West gathered an inadequate number of signatures. At the time, Salmon said he was a registered Democrat, which, here we go. West eventually withdrew his petition to be on the ballot. Kennedy's famous name and a loyal base have buoyed his bid for the White House, and he could do better than any independent presidential candidate in decades. That is right, and that's why Democrats are scared of this guy. They want to keep him off the ballot at all costs. This dude has had to fight tooth and nail to get on the ballot everywhere he's got on the ballot. The two-party system has made it just about impossible for independent candidates to get elected, because you have to have like 10 times the amount of signatures to get on the ballot, right? Now, this is kind of insane if you ask me, because currently, right, this hasn't been the case always. As a matter of fact, this has never been the case, but 40% of Americans are registered as independents. I'm registered as an independent, as a matter of fact. Now, we got like 30% Democrats and 30% Republicans and 40% independents. So you would think with the majority, the plurality of the country being independent, that we would have more independent candidates, but you don't see independent candidates very much, do you? Especially in smaller races. Now, your really small local races, sure, maybe so, but like all your federal smaller races like Congress, Senate, and all this other garbage, yeah, you don't see independent candidates whatsoever, right? Like there's almost none in Congress. You got a couple. Most of them caucus with Democrats. And, you know, one reason for that is because Democrats have gone absolutely insane. And some people, you know, sane Democrats have actually said, no, to hell with this. I'm just going to run as an independent. We've got a lot of senators. Kirsten Sinema switched to independent. There was a couple others. I just can't think of their names right off the top of my head. But strategists from both major parties worry that he might negatively affect their candidates' chances. No, I'm sorry. Trump is not worried about RFK Jr. whatsoever at all. As a matter of fact, Trump and RFK Jr. are talking about giving RFK a spot on his cabinet, as a matter of fact. That just happened at the RNC recently. So, yeah, I don't think Trump is worried about RFK taking anything away from Donald Trump. However, the Democrats are absolutely worried about it. That's why we're seeing lawsuit after lawsuit after lawsuit going after RFK Jr. And once again, this is coming from the party of democracy, right? Democracy. You want choices. You want people, you know, you pick your choice, who gets to represent you. That's their party. quote unquote, the Democrats. But are they? No, they're not. They don't care about you having choices on the ballot. They want you to vote for them, and that's it. That's not democracy, folks. They proved that they're anti-democratic in 2020 with the shadow campaign. Going behind the scenes, had a cabal of people, a conspiracy to change the rules, change the laws around voting, with the mail-in ballots and ballot harvesting and all this garbage, hiring hordes, thousands of activists to get out and go door to door, canvassing these people to get people to vote by mail, harassing them in a lot of instances to vote by mail. I'm sorry. That is wrong. You shouldn't be doing that to people, harassing people to make them vote by mail. It's just utterly insane. And then going behind the scenes and changing the rules and laws, in some cases without the approval of the state legislature. That to me, right, like that should have been brought up to the Supreme Court. Texas v. Pennsylvania. That should have been seen by the Supreme Court, but they didn't want to see it because of all the BS that was going on with the 2020 election. You got Trump over here hollering and screaming about fraud. Well, it technically wasn't fraud because why? They changed the rules to make it not fraud anymore. Yeah. Go figure. Salmon sought to keep Kennedy from the ballot as an independent under a state law that bars candidates who run for a major party nomination in a primary from seeking the same office in the general election as an independent. Salmon sought to use the statute known as a sore loser law because Kennedy had filed with the Federal Election Commission in April 2023 to run as a Democrat. He amended the filing in October to begin an independent bid. Kennedy argued that Salmon didn't have standing to sue because he isn't a candidate for president himself, among other arguments, right? Like these people are just actively trying to get rid of RFK Jr. And it makes you wonder why. Once again, coming from the party of democracy. We talk about the shadow campaign from time to time, but you gotta think, do you really think they're not going to do it this time? No. They are definitely going to do it this time, and this is part of the strategy. They're suing RFK Jr. into oblivion. Like I said, we covered a video the other day with two different stories from two different states, from two different sets of Democrats suing RFK Jr. You don't see any of these lawsuits coming from the Republican Party. Why? Because the Republican Party at least believe in open and fair democracy. They don't go behind the scenes and change the rules and change the laws. None of this garbage. None of it whatsoever. Right? Republicans, what they'll do, they'll just get up there and lie to you about policy, about what they're going to do. They get in there and then some of them make deals with Democrats and just don't do what they said they were going to do. At least they're dishonest with that, but at least they will, let you have some choices when it comes to an election. They'll fight fair, in other words. The Republicans are still trying to get out there and win the argument. Democrats, they've just abandoned going out there to try to win the argument. Sure, they'll get out there on the campaign trail and they'll put up the facade of that they're trying to win the argument, but what are they really arguing for, right? Like, look at Kamala Harris. She's getting out there talking about freedom and all this other stuff. They have to take quotes that Donald Trump says, twist it around to make it mean something totally different, right? Like him saying that, you won't have to vote again, right? Just messing around, joking. To mean, they're not obligated to vote because he's going to be a damn dictator. Like what? He's trying to end democracy? How the hell did you get from that quote to that? Like, they're just insane, right? And Trump will make a joke talking about, I'm just going to be a dictator on day one just so we can fire back up the oil drilling. And then they take that, he's trying to end democracy. He's trying to cause chaos. It's nuts, y'all, right? And they're constantly going on about January 6th. He said be peaceful, and they said it's an insurrection. It's like, come on, man. You guys, y'all can't just take what he says for what he says, see an obvious joke. No, they can't do that because they're going to lose the argument. They have to take every single bit of bait that they can and flip it around, twist it to make it sound like it's something that it's not. And people buy into it, right? You get Democrat pundits, they'll just twist that, like David Pakman and Brian Tyler Cohen and MSNBC and all these places. They'll just take it and run with it and start making stuff up, right? Like, I don't know how MSNBC hasn't got sued into freaking oblivion over some of their comments about Republicans. It's truly insane, right? You watch some of these people talk, and it's like, what is going on in their brains to make them think that? It's all just insanity, if you ask me. But you know, I try to figure these people out. I'm constantly trying to work. Okay, what's their angle here? What are they trying to get at? And it's all just for their democracy. That's all it's ever about. Them staying in power. I mean, look what they've done in California. The Republican Party is impotent, essentially, in California. They'll never have a Republican governor ever again, probably. You know, it'll take a while. It's just insane what Democrats do. You know, California has turned into a hellhole, from what I understand. I've never been there, but, you know, you hear some of the stories coming out of California, all the rampant crime. And, you know, they're over here touting, oh, well, crime is down, yeah. Because they're not freaking reporting crimes because the cops don't do nothing. Y'all tried to defund the freaking police. They don't have enough people to go out there and make arrests and do all this other stuff. Y'all defunded the freaking police out there. It's like they're just insane. Oh, we need to rethink what safety means. It's like, what is wrong with Democrats, y'all? Like, they're just so power hungry that they're willing to lie, cheat, and steal to get whatever the hell they want. And it's utter absurdity, if you ask me. But I think I've rambled on for long enough on this one. I want y'all to let me know what y'all think about all this down in the comments section. Do y'all think that Trump is trying to end democracy by telling Christians that, hey, if you go vote this time, you won't ever have to vote ever again. We're gonna fix it. Yeah, right. Yeah, get off your freaking high horse, Democrats. And how about try telling the truth? You might actually win some elections if you get out there and make a logical argument that can't be refuted. You might actually win an election the correct way. But that's all I got for this one. I want to thank everybody for watching, and y'all try to have a good day and stay legitical. Peace.